Bhaiya ji. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fan Doosra. It's with me, Tommy Sandhu, the Bharat Army. And of course, I always get that the wrong way around. I always think it's there. It's not. It's there, right? It's Daffa News, who are proudly sponsoring us. We're bringing you the news from the fans. We're bringing you what the real fans are saying about this wonderful test match that's going on right now. We're currently on day 3 in Headingley, which is in Leeds, in the north of the country, Yorkshire territory, where Yorkshire, let's face it, Yorkshire is not a good area in England for us. Yorkshire's given birth to a lot of great English cricket people over the years. Joe Root being one, and of course, people like Michael Vaughan as well, very proud Yorkshiremen. And now we've got the curse of Yorkshire going on. Just before we get on and look forward to today, it's always good to get the CEO. We've got Dinesh joining us for the first time as well. Actually, Dinesh, let's start with you then. I'm going to start it from the bottom. Now we're here. Start it from the bottom. Now the whole team here. We're starting with the bottom, Dinesh. That was a bit of Drake, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You get the whole thing here on this show, not just cricket. You get a bit of music as well. Dinesh, what happened yesterday? Is this a superb England? Is this a rubbish India? We were great a little while ago. What's going through your mind right now with what you're seeing?
It's a complete humiliation for India, I would say. Ideally, India should have battled right from the beginning till yesterday.
No. Listen, don't even try that one, Dinesh. I've had a few other people come on the show and say, they went, well, if we won the toss, what we should have done is it. That's so easy to say now. But at the time, we were like, woo, won the toss. Yeah, we're going to bat. We're going to smash them up. We're the confident team. I think that's a hindsight call, don't you? Don't you think if you were Kohli at that moment, are you telling me you would have bowled?
Not really. I mean, it's a good option for me to bat on, but for that to happen, I should have strengthened my 3, 4, 5. I should have got my ideas clear. I should have got a firm determination that I should bat all day long, and I should have got that determination not to throw the bat everywhere, everything that comes to the offside. So, with a proper determination, I still feel it's a good pitch to bat on because it's just a matter of first 2 sessions. If you had hung on, then I really feel it was really a batting paradise. I would say because England batted in such a manner that batting looked so easy. So I would not actually criticize on the decision to bat first. Rather, I would actually look back as a complete batting collapse or a batting failure. We should have corrected that. India should have corrected that.
Okay, and was it a collapse? And Gurkirit, actually, we were talking a little bit about this yesterday. Was it a collapse from India? I know we're going back a couple of days now, but it's almost like it's like a catch-up on a Netflix series. You've got to see some of the previous episodes for this episode to make sense. So we're going to give a little catch-up. So was it a collapse, or did we try and play the wrong kind of game? We saw, again, our players reaching for some of those balls.
In the pre-show, like I had said in the yesterday's pre-show, that the performance was worse than 36 because wickets were thrown away. It's as simple as that. You can collapse, you can call it meltdown, you can call it whatever. It doesn't change the fact that the batting was really poor. And I don't think it had much. I know the ball was swinging, but you have to see where the ball was swinging. A lot of balls that were swinging when the ball had already passed the stumps. You look at the 20-odd balls that Virat Kohli had. The first 50 balls that Rohit had played, a lot of them were swinging after it had passed the batsman. So that really doesn't, shouldn't have troubled the Indian batsman because the swing was happening once you've left the ball. So yesterday it would have been much worse than what it is, because if you look at it in isolation, despite one of your being extremely poor, who was Ishant Sharma, who gave away. India still only conceded 300 runs at the for the loss of 8 wickets, and that's a lead in isolation, especially considering the conditions. Yeah. Something on Ishant Sharma, 103 Test match career so far. This is only the 21st instance where he's runs at more than 4 runs per over, and it's only the 3rd time that it has happened after August 20. Shows you how consistent he has been, and how yesterday was one of his probably is in the last 7-8 years of his test career, and that happens. I'm not sure if it had to do with his fitness, or he was just missing rhythm, because at a lot of times you felt that he was not completing his run up. The follow through wasn't just uh, not even bowling in the high 130s. He was hovering around the 127 and at the max a 131 or a 132 mark. So that was the only disappointing thing, if you from an Indian bowling point of view. Apart from that,
Yeah.
you really can't blame the bowlers much. Once you've been bowled out for 78, you've handicapped your bowlers to an, they can't even attack that. And like I had mentioned yesterday, that it happened in the Pakistan West Indies Test match as well. Your openers who haven't scored a run, but when they know that they have a lead of 150 behind themselves, there's any pressure, and that was happening yesterday with David Malan as well. Anything that he was driving, whether it was away from the body, not to the pitch of the ball or not, he was getting runs for it because he knew that there was no pressure, and one or he can, and that is exactly what happened in the second session yesterday. Chad said that if
Isn't
in
that
the
also
second new ball is due,
isn't that also similar to what happened with our tail then? Well, what test was it now? I don't know. Was it in Nottingham or was it in Lords? It was in
Lords. No,
where our tail they got to come out and play freely. That's what I'm saying. Milan got the option. When you get that comfort in Test cricket, when you get then it allows people to play.
Tommy.
Sorry, good.
Yeah. I think some network issue.
He's not freezing. He's not frozen.
He's thinking.
He's contemplating. He's just thinking. Hold on. Let's get the words right. Go, Chris. You froze a little bit there. Hit me one more time. Oh no! We'll come back to Gurkirat in a second. We'll come back to you in a minute. We keep freezing. It's such a different side, Kunal. Such a different side, like that we're seeing now from India than what we saw a little while ago. What does that inconsistency mean? Does that inconsistency mean we haven't adapted to Leeds? We're still playing we played the wrong strategy, or we're an inferior side to England?
Yeah. So for me, I think 78 is not that big a concern if it would have been a one-off incident. Knowing the fact that within just 6 or 7 months ago we got out 36, that is a concern. Like 2 major collapses in such a short span, that is a big question mark. It's a big alarm. I think Gurkirat just left. Okay, I hope he joins back again. But anyway, so I think that has been a big concern. I mean, we can't just have 2 massive collapses within a year. That is a big question mark. Secondly, I feel the shots. These people are really talented. These people are one of the finest batsmen in the world. Yet they're going for those shots. So they're backing themselves too much. They're backing their shots a lot, and they're not really respecting a good delivery. I mean, in T20 that's fine. In ODI, in limited overs cricket, that is justified because you don't really have that cushion, that you can just survive. But then when it comes to Test cricket, you have to respect the bowlers as well. So that's something that our batsmen really need to do. And I mean, like yesterday, Nitish and they were always talking about Sachin's 241 at Sydney. So I think that's something which has to be, looked up to. So that's sort of the basic thing that Indian batsmen need to focus on, to respect really good deliveries, and no matter how much they would tempt you. Because cover drive is Virat's one of the favorite shots, and we love to watch it. Like Virat ka cover drive. I know many people who just post that image and like, "Aaj century pakka aega," because he hits one cover drive which is so flawless, and then bam, another wicket drops. So I think that has been a concern as well. So the shots and temperament would be the main focus, because I mean, 78 is not really that big a concern for me. I mean, it's a one-off day. Like the next innings, they'll be scoring 300. That's a good thing. But then the question is the temperament, the shots that they're going, the kind of wickets that they're falling at. That's a big concern. Yeah, you shouldn't repeat your mistakes.
Yeah, and like yesterday also I said that bowlers will tempt you. That is their job.
Exactly.
So it is your job that वो temptation आपके दिमाग में ना जाए.
Yeah.
So that is the main concern, like how they will tackle that.
It's a bit like cheesecake in the fridge. Now you open the fridge, there's cheesecake there, but you got to reach for it. Don't reach for the cheesecake. There's a banana in front of you. Play the banana. Play the banana. Play the banana. Don't reach for the cheesecake. That's the trap. Yeah. That's what it is. Okay, I get it. I'm understanding this now. Kohli needs to stop playing at 4th, 5th, and 6th stump line, says Kirby. Right? That's been a big thing. Dinesh, how do you feel about that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that question. What was that, Kohli?
I said Kohli needs to stop playing at 4th, 5th, and 6th stump line.
No, I don't think so, because Kohli is at the moment at this position where he can actually play his free innings because he is not actually being pressurized by being at number three, because number three is a position where you have got a legacy of Rahul Dravid, where you just need to be defensive enough, and luckily Pujara has been doing that. What I need to say on Virat Kohli is that he needs to start scoring just as how he was when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
The last time when we saw a century of him, it was way back in 2019, and trust me, that was the last time that India had crossed over 400 runs mark. So that tells you how much reliant is Indian team on Virat Kohli and his centuries. So trust me, what if I say after 2019, after the match where Virat Kohli had scored a century, we hadn't crossed the 400 mark. So that tells a lot about how much dependent is the entire team on Virat Kohli. And Virat Kohli, having trailing by 345 runs, 345 runs, Virat Kohli needs to step up, and there is no other way. He is right now, according to me, is batting at his convenient position, comfortable position. I think he comes at a comfort of having Chateshwar Pujara up ahead of him. So I think it's a right position for him. He needs to capitalize on what he has been given with, and he needs to play up to his strength.
Okay, sorry. I'm just laughing at the comments. Hi to Kuldeep. Hello. What is the name of this bald guy?
What is the comment? Oh, yeah. Hello.
Hey, her name is Sanika, and I will not have her referred to like that. Okay. My name's Tommy. Hello. Namaste. Nice to meet you. Okay, lots of comments coming in. We've got loads this morning. I think the reason why we're getting so many comments is because we are geared up. We're geared up for action now. We're geared up. There's something's gotta happen out there. Kunal, I'm gonna grass you up a little bit here. Kunal said to me before the show, forget it. Let's not talk about today's play. Let's start talking about the next match. He's ready to move on. I feel like as a relationship, we're going through a little bit of a rough patch. You're talking about divorce already. Wow.
Don't do that, Kunal. Yeah.
See,
Kunal, you're writing us off. What's going on?
No, see, what I'm mentioning is we've already spoken about, since last 3 days, we're talking about the poor performance on day one. I think that has been the highlight, the focus. I think we should focus a little bit more on the next match and how to improve that. So the focus can be a little bit on changing the middle order. I think that a little bit shifting might work out. Maybe resting Pujara for a match, because see, it sounds weird that Pujara should be rested, but then probably that also might be an issue. Or at the same time, it can be a bigger thing as well. Like after the 2013, after the 2011 win, we had to drop the likes of Virender Sehwag, which was a big question mark. But then we got someone like Shikhar Dhawan, who was one of the most consistent players in ICC events. So that also can be taken. Like it can be a transition phase as well. We should try out players like Shreyas Iyer, or let's say Shubman Gill is already in the side. He's injured, that's why he's not playing. But then Surya Kumar Yadav. So I know it might be too early to say that replacing Cheteshwar Pujara, that's a question mark. But yes, Shikhar Dhawan eventually got he got the time, and he got to a point where we actually won the Champions Trophy 2013 because of Dhawan, fantastic batting at the top. So it will take time. Initially, there will be failures. I remember Rishabh Pant being told for replacing Dhoni as well. Like being a Dhoni fan, even I was like, what's happening? Why Rishabh? But then eventually he has really, got improved his performance and his play as well. So I think that also might be a thing. Knowing that 2023 would be the finals, the next finals, we have to train someone young. And what if Pujara gets injured? We do not have a middle order to replace them. So it can work in that way as well.
Gurkirat, I'm worried about this morning session. Kunal's thinking about 2023. Where should we be focused on right now, CEO?
You have to take it one time, as all great cricketers would say that. You have to take it ball by ball. So, but yes, what Kunal is makes a lot of long-term sense, and I think the result of that is what had happened in 2021 Border Gavaskar Trophy. Because if you go back to 2019, Kohli mentioned about the need to have proper backups available for fast bowlers, and which is why we've been able to compete despite all the injuries. So you have to think of it both ways, but I think today you have to look at one, wrapping England up as soon as possible, and then look to bat as long as possible, try and get batting time. The only thing that I want from this test match, come out to bat, they bat for. Have to ensure that Anderson is bowling 30 overs overs, because the next test match isn't after it starts on the second. So we have to ensure that someone like Anderson, Robinson, and they're bowling as many overs as possible. I think that the win is out of the question. I think it will be over by tomorrow tea time. If not tea time, then by stumps. I don't see this test match going into day 5 unless there's some rain. There've been a lot of comments about how probably Virat needs to copy Sachin.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cliffhanger. It's like a drama. It just he goes, and I believe the key to life is. We're gonna with that Wi-Fi is messing with us. Actually, I'm just going to read out a couple of those comments before we get back to Gurkrit. It will rebuffer in a minute. It's Kuldeep was saying, I completely agree with Kunal. And besides, we really need runs rather than to bat whole day. And sadly, Pujara is not doing that even. We can try Sky. It says the only positive in losing, says Nitish, is losing this game is that we will have an extra day, that's the 5th day of this match, to go to the drawing board and change our fortune. He wants to change our strategy completely. Maybe that's what's needed, a complete reboot. It's like Gurkrit's Wi-Fi. Reboot the team, turn it on, turn it off. Dinesh, let's hear from you about going forward. What do you think now? Not only just going forward, for the rest of this test match, maybe we do need to take the Kunal approach and start looking beyond the next couple of days. Do we?
I think I would agree with Gurkrit. Let's take one day at a time. So let's think what we need to do for today. And if everything goes well today, then tomorrow is something that we need to look upon. I completely agree with Kunal and in the point that we need to give chance to someone like Surya Kumar Yadav. And I mean, that kind of puts Pujara in a bit of rest so that he can just organize himself, come back strongly again, with what his strength is and analyzing what his weaknesses are. So that puts a lot of thinking in the think tank of Indian team. But yes, you need to be a bit aggressive with your decision. If you want to bring up a change, then it has to be either the current players need to rise up to the occasion, or else be bold in taking away the players who are not performing. If Saurav Ganguly had been axed from his captaincy, he had been taken off from the playing 11 while he was the captain. Anything can happen in Indian cricket. So I think bringing in Surya Kumar Yadav might be a solution, or at least it would be a positive experimentation, I would say. And the next thing that I want to see is bringing in Ashwin, because Ashwin has been left the cost of having extra seamer. So I don't think leaving out Ashwin or benching Ashwin is going to be an ideal option. So be it batting or bowling, all I want to see is fresh face like Surya Kumar Yadav coming in and someone like Ashwin, who has been a test veteran, to be a part of playing 11. Not because he's going to give you wickets in 4 firsts or 5 firsts, but he is capable of breaking those partnerships, which is very important. Even if he is going to give you the wicket of Joe Root, like how he did with Stephen Smith in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, that's all you need. The batting will fall apart for England. So that's what I do.
That's the strategy, Gurkrit. If you heard it, it's talking about changes in the side going forward. If you were Virat Kohli, and you're watching right now, and I'm sure he does, him and the boys will watch Fan Doosra before they go out to get G'd up, and they're listening to their beloved fans. They're seeing that the blue hoodie guy up there, and they're like, oh yeah, look, it's blue hoodie guy. Oh, what's he saying? He's saying, forget this test. Forget this test. Move on. Let's think about the next one. Let's start planning tears. Virat should be thinking about his position in the team, his team selection, all of that. Are we approaching this wrong? Have we lost our fighting spirit? I'm worried that Gurkrit's frozen again, or maybe he's just got his fist in anger. Gurkrit, oh yes, good.
He's not frozen.
Gurkrit, the one thing you've got to do is keep on moving, right? And I know you're still there, okay? I know you're still moving. No, tell me what you were going to say earlier on, because you had your strategy down, and tell me how you think the team should be talking and coping right now in the dressing room.
Yeah, so when I got cut off, I was talking of the comparison between Virat and Sachin, where people have been saying that probably Virat needs to shelve the cover drive and the off drive. My concern is, and my explanation is that if Virat could leave the cover drive or the off drive, he would have done it much earlier. He doesn't have the back foot game which Sachin had.
Mm.
Virat is predominantly a very front foot player who really doesn't hang on the back foot. Someone like what Kane Williamson or a Root does. So for him to do is quite difficult. And when Sachin scored that 241, that pitch was a very flat one as compared to what you will get in today's times, because Lakshman had also scored 178 in that test match. Australia had scored 474. So it's a different kind of a scenario. You really
Yeah.
don't have that. And plus, in that era, the level of the third or the fourth fast bowler wasn't the same as what you have these days. Let's not forget, in that series in 2003 2004, Australia didn't have a McGrath or Shane Warne. So these are the factors that also need to be considered when we talk of these comparisons.
Oh,
Robot voice take
we're
over.
losing you. We're losing you. We got robot Gurkert there for a minute. I think you're back now, though. It does that. It goes.
Yeah.
Look, we all have bad patches. We're feeling it right now as a team. So we're gonna stick with you through your bad patch. Unlike Kunal, who wants me to move you on, Gurkert. Somebody else in, Gurkert. That's what he says. Look, his Wi-Fi's played up 3 or 4 times now. How many times are we gonna take this? It's time for him to get dropped. That's how these guys are, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. I'm taking the Virat Kohli approach. I'm sticking with you, Gurkert. I'm gonna put you into bat one more time. Gurkert, what were you saying?
No, but I agree with what Kunal said, that maybe you need to drop one of Pujara or one of Rahane, because if you look at it, since 2019 November, there's only been 1 century that has been scored combined between Virat, Pujara and Rahane, and on the other hand, Joe Root has scored 3 centuries in this series. Now you can't drop Virat because of what he's done previously. At his peak, he was averaging 75 for 2 years when the entire team was, themselves averaging around 34. So, that is that respective legacy that Virat carries, and hence you can't drop him. So the other players that come into play are Pujara and Rahane. Now you have to see who's struggling a lot more. And I think at this point of time, Pujara is struggling a lot more, because even after playing 200 odd balls, he's not, getting those runs. He's not reaching a 50. The currency of this game still remains runs and wickets. You can bat as many balls as possible, but you still need to score runs. And I think that is where Pujara is lacking. And I'd mentioned it in the previous test that he earlier used to attack 20% of the balls he used to face. Now he attacks 9% of them. So that is where the difference is lacking. And hence I think, if you're going to go by a pecking order, Hanu should be the first player to come in, because he's already been a part of the test side. He bats at number 3 for Andhra. He's had some county experience. So I think if whoever goes out, Hanuma Vihari should be the next person to come in that batting order.
Okay. Dinesh, are you in a confident place right now with our team? Do you feel like, there's concerns for you, or do you feel like, no, we've absolutely got this series under our belt? If we want it, we can take it, but we're just not stepping up to play the kind of cricket that's required.
Frankly, it's too early to call about who's going to be the winner of the series, frankly, because for the first couple of games, India had actually outplayed England almost. But in the third game, England had bounced back so strongly. So it's just a matter of 2 big sides competing for a win. So taking one match at a time, I think England have actually done really well. So as I told you earlier, it's all about the batting coming up and rising up in the next game. So your bowlers are doing well. They have been picking wickets. There were instances where all the four fast bowlers were able to give you all 10 wickets or all 20 wickets of a game. When you were having such a tremendous bowling lineup, all you need to do was to make a kind of shuffle, like bringing in a Surya Kumar Yadav or a Hanuma Vihari, as Gurkir told, just to make sure that your batting is not actually totally let down. Virat Kohli, I'm sure if he gets back the touch, he'll be unstoppable, I'm very sure. But the thing is that he's not getting into the party. That's the only problem. Just imagine Virat Kohli having a 50 or 100 in this match, then it will be really a big threat for the England team from next game onwards. So what I feel is to have our 3, 4, 5 batsmen rise up to the occasion. It's high time for Indian team to rise up to the occasion, because every time you cannot expect the bowlers to rise up to the occasion and take the responsibilities of winning the match, because it had been happening right from Border Gavaskar Trophy till today, where bowlers had been rising up to the occasion and winning matches for you. And yesterday's scenario was what happens when the bowlers get demoralized, because when you have nothing to defend on the scoreboard, when you have nothing from your batsmen, this is what is going to happen. They were bowling some good deliveries, but they have no target on what score to defend them, or what score they need to tackle the opponents to. So that's the kind of demoralization that you would expect if you're a batsman or not actually rising up the expectation. So that's what I feel.
It's time to step up. It's time to perform. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about bowlers in a second. Gurkrit, I'm going to come to you, talk about what's needed from people like Bumrah, and now to kind of wrap things up and get things moving on. But we're going to just touch base with the guys that are at the ground. They're there this morning. Just as I'm talking right now, I don't know if you can see it glowing. The sun has come out here for me in London. Obviously, Leeds is a couple hundred miles away. But let's see what conditions are like ahead of day 3. Here's our Bharat Army boys over in Headingley.
Good morning from day 3 from Headingley. Not sure how we're feeling this morning, Akshay. It's another tough day at the office yesterday for Team India. Thoughts of this morning? Yeah, I think, as you said, very, very tough day. I think our bowlers are running to the ground. England batted fantastically. To be honest, we're quite lucky to get those wickets in a flurry late last night, which sort of will save our bowlers' legs if we can finish the job off today. Yeah. I think we've got to protect them now and look to bat long and long and long. Yeah. As we saw yesterday, there's not much in it for the bowlers. It's not, well, we weren't swinging it much. Let's hope they don't swing it too much either. But I think from my perspective, today, a successful day is showing some fight and not giving in. Yeah, listen, this team has shown in the past that when they're up against it, they can come back and really show some fight. Is that what we're hoping for today, Amish?
It is absolutely, and that's the attitude India have developed over the last few years. What I would say is we are in a very tough position right now. Yeah. So how many extreme sessions we need in our favour is looking difficult. Yeah. But come on, man, we're India. We keep having that never give up attitude. We've got Jay here today, and as soon as we started this interview, I already felt a difference from yesterday. So I'm optimistic, man. I'm optimistic.
Absolutely. Listen, Jay's here today, the saxophone. Barmy Army have the trumpet player. We have Jay, who's our saxophone player.
That's one battle we're going to win.
That's one battle we're 100% going to win. 100% going to win. We've also got the Doyle today as well. Jay, looking forward to another day with the Bharat Army?
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. Looking forward to bring the party atmosphere back to the stands.
Absolutely. Look, we're in the party stand, right? We're in the fan zone. And hopefully Team India give us something to shout about. So come on, India!
That's what they do. That's what the Bharat Army do. They bring the dolls, the trumpets, and the saxophones. But will that be enough to blow away the competition? See what? Blow away. See what I did there? Good. Come on, man. Appreciate the blow. Forget it. Tell me about the bowling.
I think
Good. Tell me what you think from what do you want to see from your bowlers?
There's been a slight similarity over here in this series with the Border Gavaskar trophy of 2018 and 2019, because that series, Jasprit Bumrah had bowled brilliantly in Perth and in Adelaide, not got the rewards that he should have got. If you look at the innings yesterday and the first innings at Lords, he's done pretty much a similar job. He's bowled so well, but not got the rewards. But the result of that was that when India played in Melbourne, he got a 6 for. Hopefully, if that pattern, repeats itself, the next test we could see Bumrah getting cheap wickets. I've seen this with Bumrah. He hardly gets any cheap wickets. He's been bowling so well that I can actually say that he has matched Anderson in respect in terms of the length and line he's bowled. But it's just that he's not getting those wickets for some reason. He's not getting those cheap wickets what Anderson has been getting from the Indian batsman. So probably he should be telling something to the Indian batter. Look how I'm bowling, get any cheap wickets. Probably this is something that you can do as well. Make a mistake about it. Yesterday, Bumrah was brilliant once again. He had David Malan in all kinds of trouble. He had, Root. He eventually dismissed Root as well. But if you look at it, he was troubling Sam Curran as well. And he's given decisive blows in this series all along in all the innings so far. And hopefully, you should be hoping that one big wicket haul, probably if it's a 5 for or a 6 for, is just round the corner for him. Because the day that happens, or in whichever innings that happens, you can be assured that India will be, in the driving seat in that test match. It's probably too late for it to happen in this test match, but hopefully it happens in Manchester or in Oval in one of the 2 test matches.
Okay, just to wrap things up, I think we're safe to say that we'll know by tonight. This is it, right, Kunal?
Yeah.
By the stump show, when we could get back together, we'll know exactly where we stand on not only this test, but then whether we should really start be looking forward. This is it. This is a key day.
Right. So I think a lot of eyes would be on the batsman as well. I'm hoping we get to bat at least from the second session. So we shouldn't take that long to wind up the tail. If we get to bat from the second session, we have to see which batsmen are actually confident. Because right now, as I said, they can't mess up more. So there's no pressure on them to try to fight for a draw. Like draw also is really commendable right now if they manage to bat for next 2 days. So there's no pressure on them, and there's hardly anything worse that they can do after day 1. So there's no pressure. So play freely. And if even right now some batsmen are not in good touch, they might actually get switched for the next one.
Yeah, and we have 3 days to go, like Ajka and the 2 more days. So let's hope for the best, and I hope we get at least one century
and some rain as well.
Yeah.
Let's delay the game. So
oh my God, Kunal, what is wrong? Look at this. Right, Sanika nearly got a little bit of positivity out there. Nearly, she tried. She was, hey, let's hope for the best. Kunal comes in, and let's hope for a bit of rain.
Yeah.
I love it. It's different strategies at play here, but this is what fans are really talking about, and I'm sure these are the conversations that you guys are having yourselves amongst your own friends. Please do always get involved in our chat. It's nice to see new names popping up in our comment boxes again. Thank you to Akshad. Thank you to Kuldeep. Thank you to Nitish again, as always. Hi, Varnata, and all the gang as well. We'll see you at the Stump Show. Come on, Team India. A massive thank you to Daffa News and Bharat Army. Let's roll on with day 3 in Headingley. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm sure you have as well. I'll catch you at the end of the day. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.